Welcome back to Educated Discussions. It has been almost a year since our last cast, but we're back, and that's all that matters. So, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, listeners. I am joined by
me.
Your name?
Tara.
Tara. Yes. My name is Felipe. I'm joined by Tara, my wife, and today we're gonna be reviewing Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. See, I only said it twice. So we're good. We're good right now. So, Tara, you are probably the biggest Beetlejuice fan I know. Not many people that I know that like it as much as you do. So what we're going to discuss is to kind of, warm everyone up. We're going to discuss your history with the Beetlejuice franchise. And then we'll get into our thoughts on Beetlejuice 2.
Okay.
So, Tara, take it away. What does Beetlejuice mean to you?
So I used to watch Beetlejuice as a kid the way kids nowadays would watch like Frozen or Moana over and over and over again.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know why that I was so drawn to Beetlejuice, but I loved it all. And like when I tell you I was little, I mean, I remember before being in school, like maybe three or four, honestly.
Goodness.
Because I know that's young, obviously, but I was at home in the daytime watching it, and I just remember
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. What was this? Was it VHS? Were you watching on TV? Like, what was the situation?
It was taped on a VHS from a TV.
Recorded from TV. So with commercials?
With commercials.
Nice.
Like, I watched it so much. I distinctively
Oh, gosh.
remember the commercials even from the recordings. Like, I'm talking, there was like a Seagram's commercial.
Oh, wow.
And they were like on an island, and he like fell through the table of like, because it started out, he was like in a business office, and he fell through and splashed, and it just like cut to an island, and then they were all drinking and having a happy time.
You're talking about the commercial right now? Oh, my gosh.
And then... No, I'm just telling you.
Welcome to Seagram's commercials in review.
No, there was a Raid commercial with like the little green bugs.
Oh, yeah.
That were like, Raid! And they were all like running away. There was an athlete's foot commercial.
Okay.
And I remember I think it was like Gold Bond or something, but like just the animation of this giant foot, and it was all nasty. And then a Monostat commercial.
What's that? What's Monostat?
When you have a yeast infection.
Oh, fantastic.
So that just sets the mode that this was not a child's movie, because all of these ads were catered to adults.
Gotcha.
And it was just, yeah, I don't know. But I would still watch it every single day, literally reenact parts of the movie. Like, do you know how many times I drew the wall to... the other side?
Did you do the knock?
Of course. You have to knock 3 times.
That's awesome.
Doorknob included.
Yep.
And I don't know, every time I watch the movie, like, I have to stop myself now because I could recite the lines along with them. Like,
that's good.
I thought Miss Argentina, the lady, receptionist.
Okay.
And she's like, Juno, your caseworker. Like, I thought she was beautiful as a kid. She was pretty. She was like a teal green. Like,
she was the one that like she slipped the wrist.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know what that meant, but like she was pretty.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And then at the very end, when Lydia's dancing, like, and floating up in the air and everything, like, I used to stand on my couch and like act like I was floating.
Nice.
Like, so many things like stick out to me. I would just pretend I was part of the movie.
Wow.
Like, I loved it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty serious. I will say I never seen the movie until I started. Gosh, were we already married? Yeah, because it was the apartment. Yeah. Anyways, I never seen the movie fully until you. I think I bought you the. I found out how much it meant to you, so I bought you like the Blu-ray one year for like Christmas or birthday or something. And I'm like, all right, well, let's give this a shot. And I watched it with you, and it was fine for me. But I could see the appeal. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I didn't like hate it or anything. It was fine. I we can get into this a little later when we're talking about the sequel, but ultimately I was like, wow, for a movie called Beetlejuice, like he wasn't in it very long, and then like the few moments he was in it, I don't know, there was just something with like the audio of how he spoke and how like grumbly and gravelly his voice was. I'm like, sometimes like I really couldn't understand what he was saying, which for the title character of the movie, I was like, I feel like I should kind of like you more. but whatever. It was a movie of its time, and I saw it and I moved on. I don't know. Wasn't much. Never really thought about it too much more after that.
I remember like obviously like I hadn't seen it in years, and when we watched it together, I remember watching it and I was like, huh, I watched this as a kid. But it was funny like seeing like a real version of it and not TV edited, because like I was like, wow, they say bad words. Yeah. Like I didn't even like notice that. So maybe it wasn't as bad that I saw the TV version at least over and over as a kid, because then I didn't pick up on the bad stuff. I think I just really, really liked Lydia.
Right.
And I really liked that name, and I don't know, because Winona Ryder, like, she was in a lot of movies I remember watching when I was little, and I loved her. Like the movie Mermaids with Christina Ricci and Cher.
Oh gosh.
Like
I don't even know it.
That's an old one. For another time we should watch that just for fun. But I don't know. And then like I remember even watching the cartoon when I was little.
I do remember seeing that. I don't know if it was just on a weird network show. Like, I don't think it was on Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network. It must have been like WB Kids or something.
Yeah, it was like Fox Kids or something.
Yeah, there you go. Something like that. And I didn't hang around those parts too often. But I remember catching it here and there, and it was interesting.
I don't know. I watched it. I liked it. I remember, again, I loved Lydia in it. And then I was looking back at like pictures and stuff like when we were getting ready for the cast, and like looking at it, and it's just like, it's funny because he's still got his gut, but then his hair's like straight. It's a little bit different instead of like crazy and sticking out. It's like more straight. The cartoon.
Oh, for the cartoon.
Like, yeah. He's got these like red fingertips, and I remember thinking that was weird. I'm like, why is his fingertips red? It's just a weird
give
thing.
Him a visual identity, I think, for the cartoon.
A little bit more friendlier looking, I guess, than the real Beetlejuice, but like not, because he still looked like a big gut drunkard crazy guy hanging out with a little girl. Weird. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that is, I guess, one thing to note while I was watching that movie. I'm like, wow, he used to watch this as a child. I don't know. I'm pretty sure the movie. Yeah. I'm pretty sure the movie was like PG, but they still somehow managed to sneak the F word in there.
But like I said, I didn't know that because I saw the TV version.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It was interesting, but everyone has those weird movies that you latch on to that maybe others might not like. I'm not saying it's weird. I'm just saying for me, I didn't get it too much. But and then to prepare for this one, we rewatched it again. Mm-hmm. We saw it a few nights ago, and I will say I liked it better the second time around because I don't know, I was just more open to it. I saw that Beetlejuice 2 was coming, and I saw the direction they were going with it. They got our favorite girl right now, Jenna Ortega, in it, and I'm like, well, that's you sold a ticket right there. She's in it. I'm gonna go see it. So I'm like, all right, let me go rewatch this one because I'm definitely gonna see Beetlejuice in theaters, and yeah, so we rewatched it, and like I said, I liked it a lot better the second time. This time that we watched it, did you catch anything new? Because I know sometimes even rewatching a movie many times, you just catch something different each time. Maybe something you didn't really realize back when you were a child. Like, did anything stand out for this rewatch, or was it just all recited in your head as you were watching it?
It was a lot of it was just recited, and then just memories of reenacting it just kept popping through it. So then I would be laughing at the memories of myself reenacting, like when Barbara couldn't say Beetlejuice, so he like made that little piece of metal go on her mouth, and her trying to like rip it off. I remember trying to rip it off. I just remember like just little things like that made me laugh, and then just other stuff I think was just making me laugh.
There was the scene laughing. Where the statue like crashes through the window while the dad's trying to relax or something. And I mean, I don't remember the movie, but you started cracking up before anything happened. I'm like, what? And then, so yeah. Okay. All right then. So now the sequel's out. After a long wait, the original was what, 88?
Yep. My year.
And now it's 2024.
About to be 36.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So, coming from the biggest super fan I know, who bought a Astrid shirt at the movie theater when we went to go, for $33 or however much it was.
Well, that's including tax.
Yeah. Okay. Well, whatever. This is the most important review right here. What did you think of the new Beetlejuice movie?
Wow. It also has Lydia on the shirt. So.
Okay. But grown-up Lydia.
Not the Lydia. One. But she's still got those crazy bangs.
Yeah, she does. It's the same hair.
Yeah. Am I doing an overall?
Doing overall. We'll get into the deets in a little bit.
The deets?
The deets.
Lydia Deets?
Yeah, I definitely did that on purpose.
No, you didn't.
No.
Overall, I had fun. It was a fun time. Mm-hmm. I really liked it. It brought back memories, and yeah, it was fun.
Okay. All right.
I mean, like I have opinions about certain things.
Okay.
That I thought were good. Things that I wish from it. Mm-hmm. But there was some crazy stuff in it too that like was like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I liked it. It was fun. I feel like it was wackier than the original.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was more fun. And I feel like maybe if I saw this version as a kid, maybe like that would have been a little bit more appropriate. Maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I guess
like maybe this is more like family friendly than the original was.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was still good.
Okay. I really enjoyed this one. I'd say I like it more than the original. But again, that's not saying too much because I really didn't like the first one that much. It was fine. Like I said, I enjoyed it more on the second viewing. But with this one, yeah, I mean, it was just a little bit more modern, like you said, more wacky. When there was more Beetlejuice in this one, like I said, that's kind of what I was missing from the first one. Like, I feel like there just wasn't enough of him, and I couldn't really understand him. And here, he's still, I mean, Michael Keaton, he's still
Beetlejuice.
He's still Beetlejuice. He still sounds like him and everything, but I could understand him a lot more. Like you said, it was a lot more wacky. A lot more silly, and that's what I want from a silly character. And I feel like in the first one, there just wasn't enough opportunities for him to be that silly. whether it be budget or just time, whatever
Or
with
you
the
just
story.
didn't catch his jokes back then because it was a lot of
Yeah, that too. And
Yeah.
he would say things here and there, but like there was just more of it here, and to me, it hit more. And again, like seeing Jenna on screen, so I like her little thing with the boy, which we'll get into the details later. But yeah, I don't know. I like this one a lot more than the first. I had a really good time at the theater, and thankfully we went during the opening night. I mean, not, like the official opening, which is the Friday. That theater was like packed, so it was a solid crowd, to react to the stuff that was happening on screen, and people that would get it, because it is an odd type of humor. Tim Burton, he's a little. Did Tim Burton do this one too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, right. Obviously, now that I think about it, like, yeah, that was definitely him. He's got a unique style to things sometimes, and similar with the first Beetlejuice movie, like that humor isn't for everyone. But I don't know. This time it kind of worked for me a little bit more. So overall, I had a really good time in the theater, and it seemed like our friend that joined us as well did too.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, kind of like you said, like you enjoyed this one more, and the original one is like that weird like humor, and I feel like it's more not cult like favorite. What do they call that? Cult classic kind of
classic,
stuff.
Yeah, cult
and
following.
Like, yeah, and I see that more for that one, where this one I feel like was more for
it's a broader appeal.
Yeah, broader
more
appeal,
mainstream.
and definitely getting Jenna in it was
oh yeah
a big win. And then it like drawed people in, like you wanted to see it because Jenna.
Yeah, if
I
Jenna...
wanted to see it because
of course,
Beetlejuice, Lydia,
your movie, yeah,
they're there. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
So like I see how it flipped.
All right then. So then let's make this one of them sandwiches. You start positive, put the oh wait, no, that's not a good thing, right?
I mean, we kind of started positive.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, let's make a negative sandwich. That doesn't make sense, because then the sandwich. Forget the analogy. Let's get into the things we didn't like so much about the movie, so that way we can end on a positive note when we get into the things we did like. So, again, this cast is mostly for you, the super fan. I'll get into some of my complaints, but I'm sure you have more, because these characters inside and out. How they're supposed to be, all that. What were your negatives on this sequel?
I think the biggest negative to me was just how grown-up Lydia was, and older Delia, like how do I say it? Like Lydia as a teen, she was so like dark and life is dreadful.
Yeah.
And then by the end, yeah, she did, like when she started like getting closer with Adam and Barbara, like she was a little bit more happier, I guess, with life, kind of. But like I feel the route that they went, that now she's a TV person for ghosts or whatever, like I don't know, that whole thing was like kind of strange to me. I just didn't see Lydia going that route. Like her
life,
thing,
you mean?
Yeah. And like her thing like was photography and stuff, and I guess I don't know, I guess it makes sense because she started figuring herself out more. Her thing is she sees ghosts and stuff. Yeah. But honestly, I didn't pick that up that way when I was younger. So like to me, I don't know why Lydia was able to see the ghosts.
Just her parents couldn't. She herself is strange and unusual.
I guess so, yeah. But like I didn't see it like it was a gift.
Okay.
And I guess that's kind of like what they made it into in this one. Like, oh, she has that gift that she could see dead people and stuff, right, and spirits. And so, I don't know. I just wasn't expecting them to go that way with Lydia. And then Delia, her mom, she wasn't as like snooty, I guess, as she was before. And I guess that did kind of change because she was supposed to, like, she was able to live with the ghosts and stuff too, Barbara and Adam, obviously, and they just like came to that agreement that that's just life now and it is what it is. But she wasn't like Delia enough for me. Like, something she did still was a little bit like towards the end of her, a little bit more of her stuff came out, and like, but I feel like I was like pulling to see it. Like, I felt like I was like watching it and like trying to pull it through the screen, like, come on, Catherine, like, give us more Delia. But so that kind of bothered me.
Okay.
And then like Astrid, I love Jenna, but it took me a while to like Astrid. I guess you're supposed to, but
because she was like hating on the character you grew up loving.
I know.
Her mom.
But one thing, I don't know if it's just Jenna's acting or if it was really scripted this way, but the way she would talk, and I try to like think of examples and I'm going to like butcher it and it's probably not going to come off across the same, but like the way she would talk, it was like, it was like, for like example, like she was like talking to her mom when she was getting out of the car to go to school or something, and she's like, this isn't whatever, right? It's just this. And like she had these like weird pauses in between whenever she would like talk to somebody, and it would be like a, you know, and she would talk, I don't know, it was just weird. And I'm like, I don't know if that's just Jenna, like she's trying to kind of like make it more natural sounding the way she's talking.
Yeah.
But like she did it.
Jesus. Ugh.
So you cut that out.
No.
It's gonna be in the background.
Yeah, we live by a main road, everybody, and there's just this guy with this motorcycle. Anyways.
Obviously. Dang, I wish I could like think of ways to like say
I'm a little confused, but okay.
Like she has these weird pauses in between a thought, and I guess some people would be like, I don't know. It just didn't like go right. Like
so something was weird with her dialogue.
Her dialogue, and it was just like every time she was talking to someone, she would talk that way, and I don't know if that was a Jenna thing or a scripted thing. And like even when she was in the room talking to the boy, and she was talking to him, she was just like, blah 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 blah. Okay, blah 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 blah. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. It just bothered me, and it stuck out.
Is it a Jenna thing? I mean, do you notice that in Wednesday? Do you notice that in?
Well, not in Wednesday,
Killer Queen, or you know.
Wednesday was very. She's not gonna talk as like. I don't know. She's more like. Monotone, whatever. So like, it's a different type of script. She's not gonna use words like, right.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
In between, I don't know. Whatever. That just bothered me.
I didn't catch that too much, but she can do no wrong.
Next time we watch it, I'll be like, that's it. That's what I mean. She does that like at least. There's 3 specific instances. She was in the car with her mom.
Yeah. She
was in the room with the boy, and she was talking to Lydia's boyfriend at the funeral.
Okay.
So next time we watch it, I'll let you know.
All right.
But that bothered me. I don't know. I guess just like where they went with characters, I was like, this is different than Beetlejuice. And then like, how did he get a job in an office? And why were there so many Bobs? And I remember the shrunken head one of Beetlejuice, like he actually turned into that shrunken head one.
Yeah.
So I was like, how did they get a Bob to be that? I don't know. That was weird.
Right.
And like I did do some like research and stuff because I had a lot of like unanswered questions.
Yeah.
And there's people out there that do too.
Yeah.
And I guess the consensus is don't think too deep into it because there's all kinds of...
There's wackiness all over the
place. And just things don't add up because it's like Barbara and Adam had to stay in their house. Another one. Oh, it was a little tamer.
Okay.
But Barbara and Adam had to stay in the house for 125 years before they could move on.
Yeah.
And somehow they found a loophole,
Yeah.
and they were able to
and
move on.
They said that exact phrase in the movie too. Yeah, that to briefly get into my complaint, and I'll let you keep going. We're the Maitlands. I wanted Alec Baldwin and what Gina Davis.
Yeah,
I wanted them back. Even I knew they couldn't focus on them too much because they have so many new characters in this one, but just let me see them and write it off better
did see
than
them.
Huh?
I'll tell you. Continue.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you where we saw them.
We saw them on the model, I guess.
That's what I meant.
Oh
yeah.
God, no. Yeah, I needed a better explanation than that exact phrase. They found a loophole and they were able to leave the house. I'm like, that's convenient.
Yeah.
Both these people are still alive. I don't know.
Yeah, but then the other thing was, I guess, the workers in the what's it called, afterlife, or wherever they go, the waiting room.
Yeah. That's the afterlife.
Yeah.
Why right now? There's.
It's a Saturday night. What was I saying? Oh, the thing, the public servants, I guess. The whole thing was you become one if you are a suicide victim.
Yeah.
And, like, that's why Miss Argentina, she had the slit wrist, had her neck sliced. And the guy on the clothesline that was, like, really flat.
Yeah.
Like, he jumped out in front of a car and then you could have seen him. So it was all like that, but this whole podcast is, you've already seen Beetlejuice 2, right? You better put, like...
It's going to be a spoiler cast.
Yeah, spoilers.
Yeah.
So how did her dad get there? How was he working there?
Oh, yeah, that's true. I didn't think of that.
And, like, that was one of the things that I was, like, looking up and, like, researching online and stuff. And they're like, yeah, like, he had a really bad boat accident and he fell into the waters and he's got piranhas stuck to him for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But it was like, wait a minute, did he, like, kill himself or something? And then how come he's not at the bottom of the ocean? How come we, like, see him there, like, working? And I don't know. There's just questions that popped up.
I don't understand the bottom of the ocean thing that you're talking about, but...
Well, I guess because, like, because Barbara and Adam had to stay at their house. But I guess at the same time, if you think about that thought, they died in the water. So if they had to stay where their bodies were, then they would have had to stay there. So scratch that, forget that. But back to, like, what I was saying, though, like, why is her dad at that place if it's supposed to be people who, like, killed themselves?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's one thing I didn't even think about. But yeah, that makes sense.
But then also, too, people were like, because, like, suicide's more, like, touchy nowadays.
Maybe they changed that rule.
So they didn't want to, like, say that. Should I be saying unalive themselves instead? Like, is this gonna get...
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
We ain't big.
All of our followers.
If we still have the 84 subscribers, I'm sure we lost them. It's been a year almost.
But
no, it's fine.
Yeah.
All 34 people that listen, you're okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. And then it's like at the same time too, like her dad was kind of handsome. How did Lydia get that guy?
The original dad?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
But it's cool that they did like have like a Latino guy to be her dad, so like you could bring it like Ortega makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know, I guess just picky stuff really.
Yeah, it sounds like nitpicks for the most part. But I can see how some of them can be kind of big, especially like, well, that's a weird direction they went with Lydia. I mean, Lydia was like your character, so of course that could be kind of like a hindrance, as you're watching it.
It was just more lighter of a movie, I guess. And I guess that's the direction they took it. More lighter.
Yeah. And
still dark, obviously. I mean, the whole thing is afterlife and death and stuff. But, like, it's I would say this is a lighter movie than the original.
I will say that with Lydia's character, I don't know, she just seemed a little bit more like she wouldn't let things bother her too much in the first movie, when she was young, and she was a little bit, I don't know, just a little bit more commanding and like brave. So
Yeah.
why is she being bullied, like pretty much bullied and pressured into marriage from this guy, and she's just accepting it,
Yeah.
like that part did seem a little out of character for her. And I never really understand I think you and me were trying to discuss, because we briefly talked about the movie, why she was taking like pills, and if that was to suppress her ability to see ghosts, or was that just
Like
she's just
anxiety or
anxiety and
something.
stuff. Yeah, like, but the guy's like, oh, I don't want you to take these, but it's like, well, why? I could, if it was to suppress the ghost, then I get it, because clearly
He's
he
like
was
trying to make
using
money.
her to still use her gifts and make money, but it did seem a little out of character. My one of my biggest complaints, and it really isn't a huge complaint, but just the guy, the one who played Lydia's dad, that wasn't stepdad, it was an actual dad, and then the mom was the stepmom, right? The Catherine O'Hara, she was the stepmom,
Yeah.
and
The
Lydia's
dad was dad.
his actual dad.
Daddy
Okay.
Dietz, and
Yeah.
yeah,
That,
Delia was the stepmom.
so the whole movie, honestly, the whole movie hinges around his death. Like the whole reason they're even back to that house in the first place, and you see him in the afterlife as well. Like, I didn't know this, but I found out recently, like this guy was like a convicted like sex offender. I'm thinking of how people on TikTok say it, PDF file. So the fact
I
that
get it.
yeah, that's how people say it to avoid the whatever.
That's what I'm saying. Do we need to?
Word? It's fine. Anyways, so the fact that I know he was so important to the first movie, so of course acknowledge him, but like to have the whole movie hit, like you see him a lot, like you see his picture a lot. They're talking about his hobbies, about the bird watching and everything, and usually like these days, I think like once somebody does something like that, like people like, no, you're done. Like your character, like they did that with Kevin Spacey and like the House of Cards. Like once they found out about like weird stuff with him, which I think in the end it was false or something, but it was too late at that point. Like they just removed his character. So it's like, again, I think that's too much. But the fact that all that happened with him, and of course he wasn't going to be in the movie, but like you still hinge around him a lot. It was a little weird for me knowing that going in, and like, wow, they're really showing this character a lot of, like, they're showing his character a lot of love and not the Maitlands. And I like the Maitlands
Yeah.
deserve more love. Like, I don't know, I feel like they could have found a reason to go to use them as the crutch to go back to that house. Like, I don't know, like, oh, maybe use the loophole, like, oh, it turns out the Maitlands are gone, now we can get rid of the house, let's go back to it and get rid of all this stuff, or something, something along those lines. But to have it still show more love to his character versus who I think was way more important in the first movie, which was Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis's characters, like, I don't know, I just thought that was an odd choice. And when they showed how he died, it was like, oh, I don't know, it was like a different art style. It was like
a whole clay.
it was a whole claymation thing, and then I'm like, oh, okay, that was a smart way to show him. But no, he's still in the movie. He's just has his body bit off by a shark, which was hilarious every time he talked, like blood would squirt or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, besides that, I didn't have too many complaints. I just thought it was a weird choice for that to happen, like I said, and not to have the Maitlands in it so much. And then agreed with you a little bit on Lydia's direction there. But besides that, I think we both agreed that music sequence at the end was just way too long with Beetlejuice.
And the song choice was strange.
Yeah, in the first, I see what they were trying to do. They were trying to recreate like the dinner scene, when he possessed everybody, and they were all doing silly dancing, which is exactly what happened here. But
it was the Maitlands, though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, oh yeah, was it them?
Yeah, because that was.
Oh yeah, that was his songs. That made sense.
And they were trying to spook them out or whatever.
Regardless, they were trying to recreate that scene from the first movie and have that be iconic in this one, and it was working for the most part. And then it just kept going. I'm like, oh no, you're you're dragging this on too long. You don't need to do the whole song. Like that 1 minute and a half you had first was good. Leave it there. And no, it just kind of
like a
going.
4-minute song.
And I was like, all right. But yeah, besides that, I can like nitpick stuff here and there. You know, like the Beetlejuice's ex-wife, like she really didn't do too much during the movie.
It was like funny because like she was in pieces, and looking back when I was doing my research, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Like when he got married or was trying to marry Lydia the first time around, he pulled out a finger out of his pocket.
I thought it was gonna be hers,
and it was.
Oh, it was?
He said, I got this one from my first wife. He had the finger. So then I was like thinking about it, and I did notice her ring finger was like darker. So like, did she get that piece from somewhere else? But it seemed like all her pieces were there, but I don't know if that was just if she put herself together from random pieces or if they were all her pieces.
Yeah, well.
But the ring finger definitely was darker, so I don't think it was hers because Beetlejuice had her finger.
Yeah, I was hoping that she would put herself together fully, and then she would still be missing that finger because he still had it.
Yeah.
But no, she somehow was able to put it all back together. I don't know.
That's
maybe he just
like
threw it.
Yeah, I think he did toss it.
Oh, he just tossed it. Okay. Well, anyways, cool callback.
Yeah.
I guess it's more leaning on the positive side, but yeah. So now that we're kind of done airing out our little nitpicks here and there, let's go into the stuff that you really did like. Oh wait, I know a nitpick that you said. You said the movie was too clean.
Too clean. Oh, like visually. Yeah, I was going to say that when you were talking about how yeah, the way that you could understand Beetlejuice in this movie versus like before it was like mumbling whenever he would talk and stuff. Like it's funny. It's like his voice was cleaned up and he could hear it more articulately or whatever. And then his look, I don't know, I just missed that grainy 90s TV film look. Yeah. And it was just like a little too clean. It was like I can see each tooth of yours, whereas before it just looked like a gross decayed mess.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it did look cleaner, obviously. Newer technology.
Okay.
Well, speaking of technology, I guess it's more of a positive.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna get into. All right then. So let's get into our positives for Beetlejuice. In regards to the technology, I'm sure you're about to mention, I like that they kept some of the original, like for example, like the sandworms. They're still claymation in this one. I really like that they kept that the same because it just keeps with the visual style of it, and just a lot of like choices they did for special effects still seemed very old school in thought. Like nothing really seemed like super CG. Everything either seemed practical in some way, or use special effects with the mindset of those back in 1988 or whatever. Like there was a lot of like choice green screen shots
that looked like a green screen.
Yeah, from back then. But I guarantee that was done on purpose to kind of fit the style. So I was really happy that they did all that, and even like that weird claymation scene with the dad's death, it still kind of fit. It was wacky or whatever, but yeah. Anyways, go ahead. Did you have more to add on technology?
I was just gonna say, like, it was funny, like at the end with the church scene when everybody is like recording. And then they switched their phone around for like a selfie.
Oh, yeah.
And then it kind of was similar faces to like what Barbara and
Adam
did. So it was like, okay, let's give them a little something.
Right. Okay.
And oh my gosh. It just reminded me of the Beetlejuice baby.
That's exactly what I was about to say. That was one of my positives too. They did the Beetlejuice baby twice in this. And each time it was fantastic.
Oh my gosh. Like both times that he came out.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa. That was just crazy. I don't know. I wasn't expecting that. That's just one of those things I was just like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, he was silly. And then I still like that there was the scene in the first movie where he tried to scare people. He tried to prove how scary he was, and you saw like all the crazy like chaos coming from his face, but you only see it from behind him.
And he's like, bah!
Yeah,
and everything.
And then they recreated that in this. I don't know. Like I said, there was just a lot of those. A lot of the stuff from the first movie was just like kind of amped up and like more of it. And that's just what I wanted. You want more Beetlejuice. And he still really isn't in the movie that much, but he is now in it in a satisfying amount. Because you don't want to overdo him too. You know, he can be a little much, but I was really happy that they, let's spill our guts, or what did he say? Like, I don't know, and all the guts fall out and everything, and just, I don't know, it's just wacky. But, no, I like that a lot. And I don't know, just Danny DeVito just in it. Like,
that was random. It was so random.
I was like, what?
Just like,
I really liked William Dafoe's character's assistant who would always come in with the coffee. And I didn't realize it was happening so often until like, I'm sure it was happened more times than I caught. But by the time I noticed it, it still happened like 4 more times. Like, and then like they showed all the coffees he keeps crushing because I don't know. I didn't really understand what his deal was. I guess he was a hotshot movie star at one point. And what was up with this? Did he shoot himself or something? Like,
I don't know. That was like one of the things, I can't remember what they were saying, but like that was like another way, like how he became a public servant person or whatever, because
fame
something
or whatever,
like that.
overdose or something. I don't know, but I don't know. I feel like just William Dafoe is in everything these days, but I don't mind it.
Yeah.
We just saw him in Toto. Now we can see him in this. But like I said, just every time his assistant would come in with a giant impaled spear and she would just hand him coffee and he'd just grab it as he's talking. I don't know.
And how he had his cue cards.
Which one?
The cue cards.
Oh yeah, to read. Yeah. Oh man, no, it was funny. And again, I didn't really catch anything with Jenna, so that's what a positive for me. I liked her little storyline that she had with the boy, because I kind of called it, like when the boy, like she was talking to him, I'm like, this guy's just too nice. He must be bad. And then we find out he was already dead, and I was like, oh man, I guess he wasn't bad. I don't know. I guess that's the twist they were building, because I'm like, I felt they're building something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, to me, like they're building that he's gonna be a bad kid somehow. But the dead thing, I didn't really. That surprised me. But I'm like, oh, okay, that stinks. I guess I was wrong. I thought he was bad. And it's like, no, he's still bad. He's a bad kid.
He was a
bad kid.
But I feel like when we were watching him and he's like introducing him to his parents, or introducing Astrid to his parents, I did catch there was something weird about the parents, because I was like, Mom moved too quick in the kitchen, and she didn't even like look that way, and Dad, it was another back shot and you didn't see him. So I was like, does he see dead people or something too, and he's just living with his parents, and she just noticed him and can see him because he can see him, or she can see them too. And I didn't pick up on that, so that was a cool twist. I liked that.
What is the stepmom's name again?
Delia.
I actually liked the direction they went with her because of how like eccentric she was with her statues, and like how much of an artiste she thought she was. In the first, so to see her somehow become successful, I think probably due to the ghost stuff and everything that happened, but just to see her, how her mind works with money now that she's successful, and like it's just her screaming and like taking videos of her. Oh, I'm just trying to capture like true fear. That's what I'm saying.
Like later on and stuff, like I saw more of ridiculous Delia, and I did like that. But no. So I like what she went, and then her demise. And
then when she died, I was like, when she was talking about like the defanging of the snakes, I'm like, it's just the way that the shot was like, this is gonna be important somehow, with these snakes, because they just had too much emphasis on these things. Because she was doing a whole bunch of stupid stuff throughout the entire movie, trying to be an artist or whatever. And by the way, the grave of the dad was so unique and like, oh yeah, was it? I didn't even think of that. I just thought it was like a weird see-through piece of glass. As I think it was a shark. It's a shark fin. Oh my god, I forgot about that. I didn't even put that together. Anyways, yeah. So when they focus on the snakes, I was like, huh, okay. And then she went to go do whatever she was doing in the middle of the night, and I was like, there's no way that these snakes are about to kill this lady right here. It like, no. And then it happens. I'm like, of course it happened. She dies. I don't know. That was really funny to me, and it's just like, oh my goodness. But yeah, I guess to sum all that up, Jenna's great. More Beetlejuice is great.
I know what I was gonna add.
A lot of just. I feel like I laughed more in this one than I did the first. So there's that.
Yeah. Thinking back about it, like, I feel like I was going into it maybe too critical, but still excited. But, like, thinking back about it and talking about it now, I'm like, oh, yeah, there was some silly stuff.
There's some sillies, yeah.
But I do like how they did his backstory, too, with his wife. So, like, you saw Michael Keaton. Not Beetlejuice.
Yeah, as the grave robber or whatever he was doing.
With his, like, mismatched shoes. And it was funny to see him like that.
Yeah.
It was good.
Cool. All right, then. So, that's it for the positives. We good on that?
Oh, and I like the long bike ride that Astrid took through the area. And, like, she, like...
nostalgic, I bet.
Yeah, and it was cool. And pretty sure that was the Maitland's hardware store that was like a coffee shop.
I caught that too. I was like, no, that would be. I was hoping for more of a reference like Maitland's Cop or
yeah, like they could have still kept it something Maitland's, or but
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe that's like an actual place in the real town or something, and they wanted to keep that, but still.
Yeah, I guess people moved on, whatever.
I don't know.
Okay.
But they fixed the bridge.
Yeah, I saw that. All right then. Do you feel comfortable to give this a score? Do you want to give the first movie a score and then a score here to kind of compare your thoughts?
I don't know, because it's like, as much as I love Beetlejuice, like I'm not like, this is the best movie ever and I recommend it to everybody. It's like so good. Like everyone needs to like see it. So like I think it would probably be like honestly like a 7. But the original? Like, yeah, okay. But like I really like it for some reason, but I just know that like it's not everyone's thing.
There's a saying out there, I actually don't know where it came from, but it's like just it can go between different scores, but like using yours for an example, it's like, oh, this is a 7 that I love like a 10. Or that I something like that. So
I mean, I would even say as low as like a 6 or 7. Like it's not a great movie like that.
Uh-huh.
But it means a lot to me and I love it.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. Like I've never met anyone who's like talked to me like, oh yeah, I love Beetlejuice. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Okay. I felt like I was like a loner with it. And like I feel like now everybody's coming out and it's fun to see all of the hype with Beetlejuice, like even at the stores and stuff, and seeing all the merch and everything with it now, because it's like years ago you couldn't find it like you can. It was more like a smaller niche or whatever. So it's like fun now. They got merch and stuff.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, even like a year or two ago, the Halloween Horror Nights, he was there. Yeah. What did you just eat?
Huh?
What did you just eat? Oh,
yeah. I had my crumble cookie.
Yeah.
My crumble afterlife. No, after death. After death?
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a Beetlejuice cookie.
It was a Beetlejuice cake
thing. She just had that right before we recorded.
It was like devil's food cake. And
it was actually pretty good. Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
But yeah, no, it's cool to see all the merch now. All the styles. You saw like a dumb jacket earlier that had a sandworm attached to it.
I know, and they're and it's just like funny, like seeing like Forever 21 trying to like make it like
Fashionable.
And it's just like, I don't know.
We're at
It's
PetSmart just now getting some fish, and they had like chew toys of the sandworms and Lydia and all that, so it's funny.
So it's fun to see it all come out. So like you said, a 6 or a 7 that I love, like a 10, I guess.
Okay. Gotcha. So then that's the first movie. Mm-hmm. This one. Beetlejuice. How would you review the 2024 sequel?
It's tough because I feel like I need to see it again.
Yeah. This is a pending review. This could change.
Yeah, like I want to say, like recommending wise or whatever, it's like a 7.5, 8. Okay. Like a little bit a notch above because it's more like family friendly. Like I don't think I would really let Harley watch either of them.
They still for a while. They still threw in an F word in this, and then like because the rules are different now than I guess they were in '88. Like I'm pretty sure you can only do one F word a PG-13 movie. Mm-hmm. And there's a second time he goes in and says the F word, but they bleep it in the movie. Oh yeah. So it's like that was their way around it. But
so does that mean the DVD version will have the actual word?
Maybe if there's
the
like
director's cut or whatever.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, I don't know. Just for like silliness, still not like the best movie ever. Like I just had a coworker asking me if what did I think of it, and she agreed that she was a big fan of the first one, but like it's one of those things I'm like hesitant to be like it's really good because like I don't know if I truly feel that way yet. Like I want to see it again because like I said, I went into it a little too critical but excited. Yeah. But talking about it, I'm like, you know what, like why didn't I love this more? Like I need to like watch it again and let myself enjoy it instead of trying to think like, oh, I wish Lydia was more Lydia-y. Okay. Or something. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I guess what I say, like 7, 8 instead of 6, 7. Okay. So you'd say,
okay, so here's where we get into things. First one, 6, 7. I think you love like a 10. Mm-hmm. This one's 7, 8. But it doesn't sound like you love it like a 10 yet. No. Okay. So you think this is a better movie overall, but the love isn't there yet.
Yeah. Okay. Because it was a fun time. Like I enjoyed like the Soul Train thing. That was fun. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first one, obviously, if you watched it as often as you said, I mean, of course, you have a lot more years to grow and love it. And this is just after one viewing.
Yeah, I got to watch it a few more times so I can reenact parts of it and see what I can do. Like I got to learn the dance at the wedding.
Okay, gotcha. So
we'll see.
Did you learn the dance at the dinner table?
Bits and pieces, maybe.
Sure.
And they turn around and shake their butt.
All right then. I'd say I'm with you there on those same reviews. First one, between 6 and 7.
But not like you love like a 10
no. There was no love for me there for those ones. I just as a movie watcher.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the 6, 7. It's fine.
It was a fine movie. I get it was. But yeah, I don't have the love or nostalgia for it. And then this one, I'd say there's more love for it. But again, I just saw it the one time. And I still don't have too much nostalgia for it. But I do think it's a better movie than the first. A little bit more easier to understand and take in as a movie. And I'd probably give it like a 7 or 8 as well. Yeah, somewhere in there. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty good. I had a really good time at the theater. Yeah.
I'm surprised like with our ratings though, like we were like in agreement like that. Yeah. Like for Beetlejuice specifically. Right. I remember that first time you watched it and you're just like, cool. I don't get it. Okay.
Yeah, like I said,
I'm glad you liked this movie. Yeah. Money well spent, I guess.
All right, then. Well, those were our thoughts on Beetlejuice. And we thank you so much for listening. If you made it this far, go ahead and comment disco ball.
But this is the end of it, so they could have skipped through and just heard the last 30
That's
seconds.
True. Oh well, still we need the comment.
What was that quote that I said that Miss Argentina said? Starts with a J. Rhymes with Bruno.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally know what you're talking about. I didn't forget it all. But yeah, go ahead, comment that too. Disco ball and do whatever she just said. And with the correct answer, of course. But thank you so much for listening, everyone. Hopefully it won't be another year before the next one.
I mean, Halloween Horror Nights is coming up
That's
again.
true. We usually review those, so maybe sometime.
Right around the corner.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day. And Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. The juice is loose. It's not a good impression.